Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the British Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, the Caliban. Caliban is... well, genuinely the Caliban is a pretty terrible tank. There is nothing else to say about it. It's a pretty dreadful tank. But it has a meme, because this gun, this big gun that it gets, the QF 6-inch gun is just... yeah, when it works, it's filthy. Honestly, it's absolutely dirty. And I mean, you should check out one of my other videos I got a tank, and I think it's called that. Now That's a Lot of Damage or something like that, where we managed to do like 8k damage in it. When it works and when it all comes off, this tank can be just extremely dirty, because that 850 alpha you have on this 180 pen Hesh is dirty for shots just like that on the HMH M51. 852 in one shot straight to the side of his turret. The issue, of course, is that it's got like 0.52 accuracy when I'm using the gun that I'm using right now, which is the single shot. It's got 4.1 second aim time, and the shell velocity is complete trash. So if you're firing at any distance, it basically very rarely hits where you want it to. And even at close range, if you have people's gaping lower plates to hit, it will probably deviate and track them and stuff like that. The accuracy on the gun is terrible, but it has the meme that it can hit... if it does hit those shells and it pens, it's filthy and hilarious, and it is absolutely hilarious. I mean, I was playing it the other day and I penned a T54 for like 982 with the Hesh, and it was just so funny. And you like I say, when you catch me playing and you do pen them with this Hesh, it is filthy, but it can be far and few between. It does have this premium AP round that you see, which is 292, and that pens for like 600. Now, the 292 pen is absolutely filthy. That will pen pretty much everything you're ever going to face. Again, you have to hit the spot, though, to be able to pen it. But there is a problem now with the Caliban, and that is with one of the recent updates, because this tank gets a second gun choice, which is an auto reloader. They removed the ammo swapper from the Caliban, and you can no longer put the ammo swapper in it. So these two replays were just before they removed the ammo swapper, and there's the two pretty memey games, but they removed the ammo swapper. So what you're going to see in these two replays is me using the ammo swapper, and how you can see how nice it can't, well, how much more useful it makes the tank, I should say, than without it. Because quite frankly, without it, it's a royal pain, and it's actually quite a big nerf to the tank to not have that ammo swapper, because it just added a little bit of flexibility. It meant that I could pen people with the Hesh, or I could use the Hesh where I needed to, but sometimes when I think, oh, okay, I need to pen this guy for like 400 or 500, and I would never pen it with the Hesh, but I could pen it with the AP, I could just switch to the AP, but I can't do that anymore. And yeah, it was a massive nerf to the tank, to be honest, and it was a nerf to the tank that is utterly dreadful, and to be honest, really didn't need it. So it's one of those things that I hope one day that they'll just add the ammo swapper back to this tank. I get the reason they removed it from from some of the new auto loaders and auto reloaders. That was fine, because yeah, that's the point of having a clip, right? But for this tank, because of the single shot, it really hurt it. Now, personally, I will use the single shot on the Caliban, and that is because it actually has better accuracy, and the reload on the single shot, if you were to fire one shot at a time, is better. And generally, it's also got slightly better dispersions as well, which makes the gun just generally a little bit friendlier to use, a little bit nicer, and you don't have the issue of sometimes firing a little bit too soon with the auto reloader, and then having that 1 and a bit minute reload if you were to fire that second shell in that clip, and make that, and having that horrific reload. And yeah, to be honest, while if I was to fire exclusively Hesh, like just full Hesh, I might run the auto reloader and make sure that I fire only one shell all the time until the point where I realise, oh god, I'm going to die. And that's probably the way you'd run it. But for me, the best gun on the tank is the single shot. But yeah, like I said, this tank isn't actually that good. It's just one of those things that when the meme works, the meme works. And shots like that, again, on that T-34-3 black is why the ammo swapper is really nice, because I might have penned that guy with the Hesh, but the AP has slightly better shell velocity, and I switched to it to be able to hit that guy and finish him off with the 600. I missed the ammo swapper so much for this tank. So much. Like I say, it made it far more bearable to play, and it was a really big nerve to lose it. So, in terms of a crew on the Caliban, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Rapid Aim, Clutch Braking, Steady Aim, Snapshot, and Run and Gun. All the gun perks, the Steady Aim, Snapshot, Run and Gun, to make sure that the gun is as good as possible, because like I say, the gun is horrific. Rapid Aim to make my turret traverse just that little bit better, because the turret traverse is also very slow, and it turns very slowly in itself as well. So I make the tank better with clutch braking, essentially. And then in terms of equipment, I run the Vert Stabs, the Optics, and the GLD. Now, I run a GLD because it makes the aim time better, and quite frankly, the aim time at 4.1 seconds is complete trash. And while you're not seeing it in these replays, because I used to run the ammo swapper instead of the GLD, I would definitely run the GLD, because you get your aim time down from like 4.1 to like 3.6, I think it was, or something like that, which is a huge difference. Massive difference. And without the ammo swapper, that's just what I would take myself. Again, equipment is always down to personal preference, because I take optics as well to make sure that I can actually spot for myself and actually be able to find people. And Vert Stabs, like I say, because the gun is absolutely horrific and you want to make it as good as you can humanly make it with the Vert Stabs. But obviously, if you aren't that bothered about your view range, you could just run vents and get slightly better aim time, DPM, accuracy and all that with the vents. Or you could put the traction system on it going 36 kilometers an hour or something like that. It's totally up to you. There's so many different ways you could run the tank, to be fair. Or, again, like you could be running traction system to get better track traverse. You know, it's completely up to you. So yeah, the Caliban. On Prokhorovka so far, we've managed to get to 5.4k damage. We've managed to get quite a few kills. And we're just going for this Udezo 03, but he gets shut down. And again, this game showed really why I like the ammo swapper, because the versatility of knowing which round I can take really helps. And finished the game with 6 kills, 5.4k damage, the ace tanker, the high caliber, the top gun, 1968 base XP. A really, really great game for the Caliban, because this kind of game doesn't come around all that often, because it actually has to hit its shots, and the Caliban doesn't like hitting those shots. But like I say, when they do hit, you do get some truly memey gameplay. And like I say, when you slap people for like 850, or you roll him for like the plus 900 with a extreme high roll, you sit there going, "Ooh, we felt that one." It's also funny when people get really overconfident with you, and they charge you, and they think, it'll be fine. And then you manage to maneuver it so that you get their side or their rear, and then you just dump a 850 shell into them, and you can just see it going, "What? Where's my HP gone?" It's because you don't see the Caliban. And I think it is because it's a trash tank. Basically, not many people got the Caliban. And then those that did, played it quite a few times when they first got it, and then just never really played again. And, I mean, it's one of those things, right? You ask yourself, when was the last time you actually saw a Caliban that wasn't me? Because I play it quite a lot. Yeah, the answer is probably not really. You haven't really seen it. It's a very, very rare beast to see. Like I say, it can be a fun meme. It can also be extremely frustrating, because this gun is just a little bit infuriating at times. Like I say, it's when you want it to work that it doesn't, and then when you go for just meme shots, sometimes it will just go, yeah, I hit that Baraska 800 meters on the move. Easy. You know? As we slap a shell into the... it didn't pan the Barask, but it hit his side and only his tracks, and we rolled for 364. The thing is as well, though, because it is a big gun, and we are firing HE with quite a lot of splash damage on it, you do quite a lot of damage on splashes, which is quite nice. So, I mean, 364 onto the Barask was pretty decent. I mean, if you're firing at... that's the type of shot you love. 893 on that Tiger 1 there. Juicy. You know? Yeah. It's basically just one of those things. When you want it to work, it works. It doesn't work, sorry. And then when you don't want it to work, or you want to have that memey shot, it just goes, you know what, I'll hit that shot. 764, that's kind of sad. That's a low roll on that poor old buggy. But so far, in this game anyway, on Arctic region, we have managed 2,000 damage with 96 assistance damage. And we're doing pretty decent so far. There's this Absolution, so it's like, oh, hello, Mr. Absolution, just let me finish you off. And yeah, when you do shoot people with this gun, and with the high caliber, you do tend to splash them for a decent amount. Like, shooting things like ISMs and other heavy tanks, you tend to do about 200 to 300 damage, maybe. And depending on obviously where you hit them, you tend to do quite a lot to lightly armoured tanks. This Absolution is just sitting there, and I was thinking, well, 180 pen, I'm going to go straight through the lower plate of this Absolution. And because we're shooting through a bush, I actually don't think we hit him in the lower plate. I think we hit him in the upper plate there. But I was like, it's one of those things, you know, when I was shooting at him, I was thinking this is a surefire kill, but it didn't quite happen. But now we managed to shut down the Absolution with a shot to his turret with the HE, because we can just splash him to death. I was quite surprised that the Freedom didn't manage to shut him down there, but it is what it is. We're up to 2.5k damage, and there's currently 6 tanks left with 1 artillery. And obviously this is just before the artillery changes as well, so they can still hurt you a lot. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here onto this little ledge here to see if I can get a shot down on this King Dragon. And currently he's not really giving me much, but I know that if I could catch him in the side of the turret, I'd be able to pen him for a lot. But just as we get the chance to fire at him, he ends up turning and just absorbs the HE shell from us for 238. There's an ISM over there I've just got to be careful of. I was looking for more shots at the King Dragon, but he's getting wrecked by my teammates who have gone in on him. But we've seen the ISM, and it's like, right, okay, the ISM, I can't pen it with 180 Hesh pen. So I use the ammo swapper ability that this tank had, I wish it still did, and load the AP, because I know that once I get to the ISM, I will be able to just lob the AP round straight through, which will net me about 600 damage and help this Freedom out quite a lot. So we're just going to drive around this corner very slowly, and we realise that's a stock ISM. That is stock. I could possibly pen that with the Hesh. So we end up switching back to the Hesh, and we're just looking for the shot into this guy's cupola, because again, I could pen it with the Hesh, and unfortunately, it only rolls for 278. It doesn't actually pen him. And the Black Prince managed to get one shot into us, but we managed to bounce one of them, because the Caliban does have pretty decent frontal armour and turret armour, but it's not great. So it's one of those things that you sort of can ricochet, you know, if you wiggle about a bit, you can ricochet shots here and there, but you're not going to ever rely on it. And now that ISM is given the side of the turret, 830 through the Hesh round, straight through the side of that guy's turret. That's where the Hesh is beautiful, when you get that sort of shot. Unfortunately for the Freedom, he ends up getting wrecked by the artillery, and I'm looking at this ISM like I can finish him off with one shot. But I decide, okay, you know what I might do is try and pop over and get rid of this Artie, because the Artie obviously can shoot me over this ridge line, and that will hurt. So we aim the shot as much as we can and slam the shot straight into that M44 and shut him down. But this Projectile 54, has that clear look of, I'm coming for you, sir, and I want your babies. Well, okay then, sir. Let's see how this goes. And he's sideways on. This is where, I mean, people or should I say, underestimate the Caliban at times. He was there like, I'm coming in for this guy. I'm going to damage him with a load of shots. Gave me his flat side. We slapped that shot in for 800 odd. We were going to try and meme and ram him into the water, but unfortunately that just didn't happen. And then realised he has better engine power than me, which meant that he started to drive us into the water himself, but we managed to manoeuvre ourselves around. We switched to the AP, again where the ammo swapper is great, shut him down, and we finished the game with 4 kills, 5.3k damage, bit of assistance, the first class steel wall and the high caliber for 2000 base XP, because for some reason the XP requirement, again, because I think it's because the tank is basically never played, the XP requirements for it fluctuate massively, and yeah, 2k base would normally be an ace tanker. But again, that's another one where the ammo swapper was great for it, and I wish it was back. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.